You know, sometimes it feels like I'm fighting a losing battle. In fact, I know I'm fighting a losing battle. I and others who try to warn people about the advancement, the fast, rapid pace, and development of AI, ultimately, we're in a losing battle. And I'm going to let you know why. I'm starting to feel it now. I'm starting to get pressure put on myself to where I realize the powers that be don't want me to say these things to you. Now, before we get started, my name is Sean. I have a background in tech. I used to design and build autonomous robotic devices for the military and the aerospace industry. And I've owned my own software company for the last 23 years. And I started this channel. It was kind of strange. It wasn't even what I thought. I've really been fascinated by AI since the 1970s and 80s. And I just thought, hey, this would be a great thing to kind of help people with, teach people how to use it to their advantage, and also warn of the potential side effects, the whatever bad things are. I just wanted to say the good, bad, and the scary. But the more I got involved in really finding out every last thing, I mean, some things the general public doesn't know, I realized that there's something really wrong when it comes to AI compared to any other technology. There are some people that have thought of AI as just another industrial revolution that, we'll all get used to. And let me go through my gate here. Frozen. Today is a frozen day. But anyway, this is not just a, it's not just a, another industrial revolution or another technology we'll get used to. I want to explain to you why I think this is really, really terrible. As you guys can see, I'm just walking around here. I'm going to walk around in the woods. And I'm just speaking to you off script. Hope some of you guys will listen and get this. But on this channel, I started by just taking a look at the job loss that's going to happen and is happening. And even before I did that, I got to be straight up with you guys. My brother owns a very large company, and he had replaced one of his workers with AI. And I was kind of fascinated by that because I thought, okay, this was before I really knew everything was going on. But I thought, you know what? I remember he really had trouble with this one position because the type of worker that he needed and that he hired, I don't know what it was wrong with these people, but he went through several people. I don't know how many people, but I know a few of them. And they are the most irresponsible people. And it's from that generation that they kind of expected everything to be handed to them. They want a paycheck, but they don't want to work at all. And so he actually found it easier to replace that person with AI. And to this day, the AI is doing the work of that person. And it's doing it more reliable than that person, because that person, you guys have no idea how every time he would hire somebody for that position, they were like a diva. And we're like, what is wrong with this generation that has this skill set? So basically I don't know, he consults with me quite a bit. I have to be honest, he leans on me once in a while because of my experiences, but the AI thing I didn't really have much to do with. I just watched him do it and it actually worked. And so then I'm thinking, okay, what other jobs are going to be replaced by AI, especially the low-hanging fruit? So I did a video that went to the moon. It went viral. Over 460,000 views. And it was just the top 40 job losses that are coming either now or happen now, or they're about to happen quick because they're the low-hanging fruit of the workforce. And we're talking the data entry jobs, desk type jobs, telephone answering jobs, computer entry jobs. And so I did that video and I got some people saying that I missed several of them. You know, the radiologists, all these others are going to be replaced too. And I totally agree. Guys, I just did some simple top 40. I mean, there are going to be hundreds of types of jobs that are replaced by AI, whether it does a good job or not. And so, you know, I did that. But one of the things that really threw me off was when I started looking into the data centers. You know, I knew about the data centers, but when you actually start looking at the quantity of them going up and where they're going up and why are they going up and how in the world are they going up so fast? How is it that for decades, the environmentalists have been screaming at us about climate change, and now all of a sudden they're silent? Did you guys hear Bill Gates' recent statement? He changed his mind. He doesn't think climate change is going to be a threat to humanity now. Come on, guys, what the heck? You know, that climate change movement, I think people got caught up into it. They taught it in school. They really tried to let the kids know that the world is going to end and they're all going to die. But here we are. And now all of a sudden, even some of the most prominent climate activists have moved on to other causes that have nothing to do with the climate. And the reason I bring that up is because the data centers being constructed require a lot of power, a lot of water. And they put out a hum, and, you know, there just isn't enough electricity for these. So what they're doing is they're having to fast track all these power plants being built. And the climate protesters, the climate movement is completely silent. And I'm not talking about your local people who are saying, not in my backyard. I'm talking about that national movement that has been pushing this crap on everybody and scaring our kids for no reason. Now you might say, well, the climate is changing, you know. Screw you. You know, you scare my kids to death, and now you change your mind. It's okay to put up tons of power plants in the name of AI. And why is that? There is something really, really bizarre going on between the government and big tech. Now, several of us have been really looking into the relationship of government and big tech. And what we're finding out is that we're getting to the point where big tech has started to control government. It used to be the government could control everything, and these industries would send people to influence the lawmakers and get them to do the things they want. And now it's completely different. Right now, the big tech firms, I would say, are in control of the governments already. Several of the governments, especially in the United States. I thought a lot of things were very odd. You know, I don't have to look any further than Arizona. I'm in Arizona. This doesn't look like a desert, but I'm in northern Arizona, and we can get 3 feet of snow here. But Arizona, you guys remember Kirsten Sinema? She's a senator. She was a Democrat. She started standing up against the Democrats on just a couple issues, and they started running in the bathroom while she's trying to go to the bathroom at the Capitol. Not Arizona, but in D.C. So anyway, the Democrats ate their own on her. I mean, they were trying to take her down. So what'd she do? She did what anyone would do, and that is change to independent. So she changed to independent, and I think Arizona, I think the Democrats are pretty outraged about her, just kind of going differently than them on just a couple things. She was in line with them on almost everything, but anyway, she became an independent, and then she got to the point she just resigned. Not resigned, but she said, I'm not running for re-election. Okay. So, would you believe she is on the payroll of the big tech now with AI, the AI movement? The reason I first saw this, I saw her on TV. She was down in Chandler, which is a suburb of Phoenix, and she was trying to sway the city council or planning and zoning. And she was saying the most bizarre things that were so out of character. They were uncharacteristic of her, because she was kind of a maverick. And she was saying to the city of Chandler, you need to build this data center. And the people said, no, we don't have enough electricity, and it's going to use a bunch of water, and Arizona's short on water. And she said, you guys need to approve this, because you're going to be left behind, is what she said. You're going to be left behind. And so I just thought it was really, really strange, because they brought up the fact that, when they said that the data center would bring jobs, on average, it doesn't bring very many jobs. And did you guys know that 2 McDonald's franchises hire as many people as 1 data center? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like, no, these data centers do not bring jobs. They bring jobs for the construction part of it, but the rest of it, they don't really bring jobs. But they bring a lot of environmental impact. And Kirsten Sinema was a climate change person. She's an activist. When she was in Congress, she was a senator. How in the world does somebody change? It has to do with money. It just shows the corruption of everybody. Even when you think they're standing their ground on things, no, people can be bought. And so, some of you guys like Trump. Some of you guys hate Trump. Some of you guys loathe Trump. Some of you guys get up in the morning, or you couldn't sleep all night because of Trump. But regardless, one of the things that bothers me is I don't think he understands what he's pushing on the AI stuff. I mean, when I hear him talk, he says, yeah, we're going to get the AI going. And I'm like, why? Why are you doing this? AI is going to be a tool for humans, but You know, there's something far greater going on here than just a tool for humans. You know, when I looked into this more, it actually has to do with total control of people. Wiping out people. I hate to say it, but it's like they want to weed people off the planet. And I'm not talking about just Trump. I'm talking about, man, this was going on during Biden. They were pushing this stuff forward. You know, Trump hasn't been in office that long. But these data centers were going up for the last several years. Fast-tracked. So if you guys are just hung up on Trump, that's your problem. I'm telling you guys, everybody is, you know, I look at everybody in government with suspicion. What are your motivations? There are so many people being paid and influenced or threatened to go along with this. So what was the, you know, what's my problem with this? My problem is when something's good, people want it. There's a desire to have it and to use it. When something's really terrible, then it has to be pushed on you. That's the difference. And so, if you guys look at the good things of AI and the bad things of AI, I mean, we'll just talk about what you guys know. Most people have used AI to write papers for them or help them with their website or stuff like that. Doesn't always do a good job, but you know, that's what most everybody uses it for, as well as generating images. Now, the images they generate aren't necessarily for them to be more productive or to use that at work or to make an income. Most people are using the AI generated images. They're just having fun. They're entertainment. So basically, a lot of AI right now, the use is just purely entertainment. So why are they putting up so many data centers and putting in so much infrastructure? And now we'll have a situation where AI will be really good at monitoring everybody. It's going to monitor everything you buy and sell. And it's going to track you with cameras because AI is really good. I've got a camera that follows me. Not this one, but I've got one up at the house that follows me around. If I go here or there, I look or whatever, it does. I mean, and it's a simple AI. And then when it comes to our kids, AI is having a crazy, horrible effect on them. And the other thing that's kind of bad is they're pushing AI relationships now. They're really trying to isolate everybody. They're trying to get them to not talk to each other, but trust the AI. AI is one of your friends. And even if you have a group of friends, which Facebook is already doing this, by the way. Facebook has everybody corralled, families, friends, and everything. And now they're inserting AI into people's posts, and the AI is trying to join in. And you know, it is a situation where they're obviously trying to keep people's attention, because if you talk to another human, you're a threat to their business model. And so they need to keep your undivided attention from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. That entire time is money. But the government has a different plan. And it is really bizarre how this whole thing is being moved forward. You know, and I try to let you guys know what's happening. I try my best. And what I've noticed is this platform you're watching on right now. I've noticed that they're starting to throttle me down now. And so there's not much I can do about that, because you guys remember when I've talked about the current state of tech and government relationship. It's like a seven-headed beast. You got these big companies. They're individual, but they're all working together, including with the government. And it is much larger than me. It's much larger than you. And if you were to convince a bunch of people that, hey, something's wrong here, something's going wrong, you can bet that all of those, any of one of those that notices you are not complying with them, they will attack you in some way. And for me, it's going to be just reducing the amount of people I can reach. So if you guys want to help me out, share this video, share my channel. But now let's get to the part where, is this a losing battle? It kind of is. The reason for that is because the powers that are pushing all of this are so powerful. They're more powerful than all of the people. And the reason for that is because all of the people can't get organized enough to even fight back. People can have ideas and be outraged and things like that, but I mean, you can't get anybody on any street corner to agree on anything. But the tech companies and the government, they're pretty organized. And so the end result of all of this AI is really not going to be so that you can write a nice paper or create a cool image of your ancestors, or a video, or some gorilla videos, or all these videos you see. The end result, they're just dangling the little piece of candy in front of people. But the plan, think about it. They're not building all these data centers and power plants so that you can create cool images and videos for fun. Think about that. That would make no sense for them to be spending billions like they are. Now, I've been speaking about OpenAI being such a farce, a Ponzi scheme, where they just have all these companies. You invest in me, I'll invest in you, and whatever, and then the shareholders are going to think we're making tons of money. And then chip makers like NVIDIA, they show big profits because these companies like OpenAI that don't have any money, they owe so much money. They're the reason they ordered a bunch of those chips. So I don't even believe NVIDIA is truly making money. They're kind of making money because they're selling the picks and shovels for the gold rush. But OpenAI is going to collapse. And even after I did a video where I said they're going to be looking for a government bailout. I put that out there before it was even headlines, and then it became headlines. And unfortunately, it's not even a theory anymore. I mean, there are more and more government officials talking about we can't let OpenAI fail. So why in the world would this be allowed to happen? Because there is an agenda. There's an agenda far greater, far bigger than we know. And then for all of you Christians out there who understand, ever since I was little, I grew up Christian, and we were taught, and we read that things are going to get bad in the end, and there's going to be a beast system, that is put in place that will control everything that is bought or sold, and it's going to control where everyone travels, comes and goes. It's going to monitor everything. And so for the Christians out there, most of the Christians know that this cannot be stopped. Isn't that interesting? So why do I keep going? Why do I keep doing what I'm doing? Mainly because I want people to be aware of what's going on. Something's going to happen and there's nothing you can do about it. Kind of like a hurricane coming. You just take steps and have it impact you a little less. But there's nothing you can do about a hurricane. I haven't seen anybody stop a hurricane yet. But what I want to do, for those who will listen, is just walk and talk this stuff out with you. And if there's anything that I know that we can do as individuals, as moms, as pops. I said pops because my oldest boy called me that. But if there's anything we can do as grandparents, neighbors, friends, to lessen the impact of this on us. What do I mean by that? I think it's one thing if you lose your job and you lose your career, but it's another thing when you lose your soul, like who you are. What I mean by that is, think about when the smartphones came out and how many normal people turned into zombies. They're just looking down at their smartphone all the time. People are walking into ditches and in front of traffic, and they're just staring at their phone. And as AI starts replacing human thought, people won't need to think anymore. They will, they'll become mindless. And I would say that when you become mindless, you've lost something far greater than your job. And in my opinion, even though you're alive, you have died. And I don't want you to die. All right, so I know that was a little depressing, but hey guys, they're suppressing me a little bit on trying to let you guys know about this. So help me out. Let others know. And I'll be a voice that walks along with you on this. And man, I love this scenery here. I've got, yesterday it rained and snowed like crazy, and we got all this snow, and then all of a sudden overnight it kind of melted into the ground and woke up with a cloud just right on the ground. Amazing. And now I got all this dew on the trees and sun coming up. Beautiful. So in the midst of all the terrible, we're going to get out. We're going to enjoy the beautiful. And drop me a comment, guys. Comments help. Comments definitely help the channel. Let me know. Let me know you heard me. All right. Remember, for everything we gain, there is something lost. Take care, guys. Catch you later. Bye.